Hey guys, it's Denise from LoomaHat.com, and for this project we'll be making little mini sachet bags. Alright, let's begin. Use one strand of yarn and you're going to secure that to your anchor peg. And to cast on, we're going to do the drawstring cast on. So just zigzag your working yarn through every other peg. When you get back to the first peg, take the working yarn behind it and then lay that working yarn flat in front of the pegs, and you're going to knit off only the ones that have 2 loops. Make sure you keep the working yarn nice and loose. Work only a few pegs at a time. You continue the knit off until you get back to that first peg, which you're not knitting right now because you're just finishing the cast off and you're ready to go to row 1. And so here you're just going to lay the yarn in front of that peg and you're going to start knitting each peg. You're going to knit this row and you're going to use the U-wrap version of the knit stitch. To do a U-wrap, you half wrap the peg and knit off. Sorry about that. Half wrap, knit off. It happens sometimes. Half wrap, knit off. And you just continue to do this until you get back to that peg number 1. You now finished row 1 and you're ready for row 2. For row 2, we're going to knit 1, purl 1. This is also known as a rib stitch. For the knit, you're going to again use the U-wrap. For a purl, you're going to put your yarn under the loop, scoop up the yarn and create a new loop, take the old one off, put the new one on, and pull your string. Again, you're going to knit the next peg, and then you're going to purl. And you're going to follow this same pattern. You're going to knit 1. In my case, I have a stitch mark, and everything with a stitch mark I'm going to knit right here, and then my next one will be a purl. After a few rows, which in this case this is your second one, you can go ahead and remove the yarn off the anchor peg. You're then just going to repeat rows 1 and 2 6 more times. That's going to give you a total of 14 rows. In your last row, which is row 15, you're just going to knit. Here's the pattern to make it easier to understand. It's time to cast off. Okay, you're going to knit 1 in order to get the working yarn where you want to start. So you knit that first peg. You're only going to do that 1 time. Now here is the bind off. You're going to knit peg 2, take the loop off of peg 2, put it on peg 1, tighten your working yarn, knit off, and take that loop and put it on peg 2. This is now your new peg 1, and you're doing it again. You're going to knit peg 2, take the loop off of 2, put the loop on peg 1, tighten, knit off, and take that loop and move it over to peg 2, which is your new 1, and you're going to repeat the process. Okay, knit off the last peg and then get your scissors, and we're going to cut the working yarn. And by the way, this yarn is 100% cotton by Sugar and Cream, and you just need a little bit of scrap yarn, so that's pretty cool. Now you take your hook and you gonna take the working yarn through that loop and make a knot, and get your crochet hook, and let's close up. Feed the working yarn through any of the loops in the front, and then you're going to take that same working yarn and you're going to feed it through a loop in the back. That brings that excess yarn to the inside. Then you can just start stretching the stitches, and it's gonna you're gonna be able to see that it's the true length that you wanted, and you're gonna see that there's a big difference between one end and the other. This is the drawstring, and it's wider, and then you have the bind off drawstring. You can just pull it and it'll start to gather to close, and sometimes it needs a little help, so you can pull on those loops a little bit and then come back and get the working yarn and pull on it some more, and then you're going to need to bring it to the inside of the little bag. Keep pulling on the string until it's closed enough for you. I'm not going to be pulling on it all too much more because I don't need it that closed. I'm going to get my crochet hook, and now you take that working yarn and you're going to feed it through some of these loops. Here is the second one, and with this loop I'm going to create a knot because I don't want the working yarn to just by mistake pull out. So I'm going to close it up somewhat, and then this string that I'm pulling on is going to be my drawstring to close the little bag. So I'm going to put it to the side for later. And now I want to show you this variation. This one's a little longer. Here's the inside. I use a tea bag to keep my baking soda and essential oils, and here's a little string that I was showing you I will use to close the bag up. And as you can see, I could tap, no powder because it keeps the powder nice and secure. And this one has only 15 rows. This one has about another 8 rows, so it's a little taller. This one and this one are both 15. I just took this one and kind of flattened it out and put a string so I can put it in my car and in my closet. And here's the drawstring that I'm going to use that I cut from the inside, and I'm going to feed it up on the top part. If I wanted to do like this, then I would go to the middle of the bag. But this is how I close these two. So you're going to take the needle and you're going to weave it in and out of the loops, and just make sure that you have 2 ends, one on each side. Now I wanted to tell you guys a little bit about the bags. They work really good to deodorize your shoes, your closet, your drawer, a refrigerator. So many uses, and you can fill them up with essential oils, rice. You just basically put a few drops of any kind of essential oil that you like, or your favorite cologne or perfume, kitty litter, anything that will deodorize can be put into these little bags. The one with the string, you can even use it as a scrubby. It works especially well for your face, and you can fill it with any soap you like. Well, that's it. Now all you have to do is fill up your little baggie. This happens to be my favorite one, so I'm going to move my stuff over to this little one, and I'm going to tie it up, and then all you have to do is make a knot, cut your ends, and tie them up so they won't unravel. And that's it. That's your project. I hope you like it.